Stop looking at your Zestimate. It's lying to you. You think you've made 200 grand on your house since 2020? The math says you might actually be losing money every single month. We've been fed a fairy tale about the American dream for decades, but the dream is turning into a financial nightmare of phantom fees. This is Benny Bill. He just bought a $400,000 suburban home. Benny's feeling like a genius because his house price is going up. But Benny's bank account is telling a much darker, much more expensive story. See, the sticker price of a house is just the tip of the iceberg. Beneath the surface, there's a monster eating away at Benny's future wealth. We call these unrecoverable costs, money you spend that you never get back. First up, the great insurance spike of the mid-2020s. In states like Florida, home insurance premiums have jumped 40% in 2 years. Benny's monthly payment just climbed $300, and he didn't even use more water. This isn't just a coastal problem anymore. It's happening everywhere. Climate risks and rising construction costs are forcing insurers to hike rates nationwide. If you can't insure it, you can't mortgage it. If you can't mortgage it, you can't sell it. That asset of yours is becoming a liability faster than a used luxury car. Then there's the property tax trap. As your home value goes up, the government decides they want a bigger cut. Benny's neighborhood got upgraded, so his taxes jumped another $2,000 a year. He's paying for the appreciation he hasn't even realized yet. It's like paying a tax on a stock you haven't even sold. Let's talk about the 1% rule of maintenance. Experts say you should save 1% of your home's value for repairs annually. For Benny, that's $4,000 every single year, just to stay functional. But in 2026, labor and materials have made that 1% look like a joke. Benny's water heater died last Tuesday. That's $1,500 gone forever. His roof is 12 years old. A new one costs $25,000 now. If he doesn't fix it, the house depreciates. If he does, his profit margin vanishes. Now, contrast Benny with his friend Stash Sarah. Sarah rents a similar place for $2,500 a month. Everyone tells Sarah she's throwing money away on rent. But Sarah doesn't pay for new roofs, property taxes, or skyrocketing insurance. She takes the phantom fees Benny is forced to pay and puts them in the S&P 500. While Benny is painting his fence, Sarah's money is compounding at 10%. Benny thinks he's building equity, but his interest payments are front-loaded. In the first 10 years of a mortgage, you're mostly just paying the bank's profit. Benny's ownership is actually just a high-interest rental agreement with the bank. And the landlord? It's the local tax assessor and the insurance company. Let's look at the psychological trap of home improvements. Benny spends $10,000 on a dream kitchen remodel. He thinks he added $10,000 to the home's value. In reality, most renovations only return about 60 cents on the dollar. He basically burned $4,000 to have prettier cabinets. This is why the math of the passion penalty is so dangerous. We love our homes, so we overspend on things that don't build wealth. We treat a shelter like a retirement fund, and that's a dangerous game. Before we dive into the liquid wealth gap, I have a small favor to ask. If this math is making you rethink your finances, hit the subscribe button. It's the best way to make sure you don't miss the truth about your money. Back to the numbers. Let's talk about opportunity cost. Benny has $80,000 locked up in his down payment. That money is sitting in the walls of his house, earning 0 interest. If that 80 grand was in a brokerage account, it would be working for him. Instead, it's stuck in a dead asset that he can't spend on groceries. To get that money back, he'd have to sell the house and pay 6% in commissions. That's another $24,000 disappearing into thin air. Selling a house is the most expensive way to access your own savings. Now, let's look at the 2026 forecast for home ownership. With interest rates remaining higher for longer, the pool of buyers is shrinking. If Benny needs to move for work, he might find his house is a golden cage. He can't sell because he'd lose his low interest rate, and he can't rent it out for a profit. Why? Because those phantom fees have eaten the potential rental income. The insurance and taxes are now higher than what a renter is willing to pay. This is the cash flow crunch that's hitting the middle class right now. So, should you never buy a house? No, that's not the point. The point is to stop calling it an investment and start calling it a lifestyle choice. A house provides stability, a backyard for the kids, and a place to hang your hat. But as a wealth-building tool, it's often inferior to a simple index fund. If Benny had understood the hidden costs, he might have bought a smaller place. He might have prioritized liquidity over square footage ego. He would have looked at the total cost of ownership, not just the monthly mortgage. The most successful people in 2026 aren't house rich and cash poor. They are asset flexible. They own things that pay them, not things they pay for. Don't let the phantom fees ghost your retirement. Run the numbers, include the maintenance, factor in the insurance hikes. Be honest about the property taxes. When you strip away the emotion, the math usually reveals a different path. Your home is where your heart is, but it shouldn't be where all your money dies. If you're serious about learning how the new financial world really works, hit like and hit subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.